The Nancy Pelosi con game continues. That 2,744-page, $1.5 trillion spending bill she passed in the middle of the night, well, it included plenty of worthless earmarks. I mean, there were over 2,700 of them that squandered more than $4 billion of your tax money. And many of them were, well, you guessed it, swampy. They doled out $382,000 to dime store 007 secret spy lover Eric Swalwell in a school district for Latin American support and access. And Ilhan Omar, well, she cashed in a pretty $1 million for Afro-Latinx immigrant COVID-19 workforce re-engagement, whatever the heck that means. And our dear Nancy Pelosi, well, she works really hard, and she deserves a little extra, says her Democrat colleagues. So she got $40 million for luxury hotels and golf courses in San Francisco. Right here in our own district, Colorado's 2 Democrat senators were pumped up to hand out $3 million of your money to renovate a Best Western in Durango. This BS has to stop. We are over $30 trillion in debt, and inflation is out of control. Earmarks are a tool of corruption in Washington, D.C., and make inflation worse. Nobody wants to be on record voting for this crap, so they hand out these dollars like presents instead. If districts actually need the money, it should be legislated, period. I'm proud to have secured millions of dollars for my district that were both necessary and passed through proper channels, not as political favors to buy votes. Earmarks are one more reason I voted against Pelosi's bloated bill, and one more reason I continue to push for a balanced budget amendment. And it's also one more reason we've got to take back the House with fearless conservatives in 2022.
Hey everyone, I'm in Washington, D.C. now, but I've been traveling the district talking with ranchers, farmers, small business owners, seniors, veterans. Everyone knows we need to take back the House and fire Nancy Pelosi to get our country back on track. The past few weeks, I've been in the San Luis Valley, Rangeley, Durango, Pueblo, Grand Junction, Fruita. The message is clear. I will always stand up for our God-given rights, and I will always speak up when liberals try stripping them away. I'm the only conservative on the ballot. So when you get yours this week, make sure to vote. Make sure to get your family to vote. And make sure everyone else you know that wants to put America first checks my name to represent you. I love all of you. God bless you, and I'll see you back in Colorado real soon. And ballots are landing in your mailbox now, which means it's time to make your voice heard. We need everyone to vote. We need you to rally your friends and your neighbors to vote Republican if we are going to get food and energy prices under control. I'm the only candidate in this race who will help fire Nancy Pelosi, put a check on Joe Biden, and fight for you every day, because freedom is a great motivator. I appreciate all of your support, and I love being your representative. Thank you. Thank you to the gentleman from Pennsylvania and the chairman of the Freedom Caucus. Thank you for leading on this issue, and thank you for putting together a hearing yesterday so we could hear from people who are on the ground at the southern border. It was so difficult to look these Border Patrol agents in the eye and hear their frustration, to hear their hearts cry, to say that they feel useless in their capacity, in their jobs. They said that they used to work all day and go home feeling like they had accomplished something. But since Biden took office, that's no longer the case. Since January 20th, when the so-called president of the United States canceled construction of the border wall, since then, these men and women have felt like they are not providing a service to the American people. When I was talking with these agents, one thing that they said was, this isn't a resource issue. We aren't here to ask for more money. We aren't here to ask for more personnel or more infrastructure. We just need policy. Policy solves this. Returning to the Trump era policies solves this. Canceling construction of a border wall and still continuing to pay out federal contracts $5 million each day is not solving this problem. Nearly 2 million illegal aliens coming into our country, and that's not even counting the hundreds of thousands of gotaways that are not included in that number. And Madam Speaker, I understand that this is a special order, but I think it would do you and your party a service if you would lift your head and pay attention to what's being said on the House floor of the United States Representatives. Maybe that's too much trouble to ask of you, Madam Speaker, but we are here talking about real issues that are impacting America, and you still continue to sit and ignore what I am saying. I think that's very reflective of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle who have ignored what's going on at the southern border, who have ignored the children who are being trafficked by cartel, who have enriched the cartel, who have smuggled in enough fentanyl to kill every American at least 7 times over. Madam Speaker, this should concern you. As a mother of 4 boys, this certainly concerns me. And all we need to do is implement policy to secure the southern border, allow our Border Patrol agents to do their job, have someone in the White House who will faithfully execute the law and uphold it. We are here to hold people accountable who are not doing those things. And Madam Speaker, let the record show that you still have not glanced up one time to acknowledge this humanitarian crisis that is taking place in our country. Chairman Perry, thank you so much for leading on this issue. I yield back to you,
I thank
sir.
the gentlelady. And now,
Madam Speaker, the American people have spoken. They have fired you and have chosen to end the Democrats' one-party rule throughout our government. The days of this chamber being treated as Pelosi's house instead of the people's house are over. The American people will once again be allowed into this chamber to see their representatives at work. Republicans made a lot of promises on the campaign trail. It's time we make good on those promises. We must defund the 87,000 IRS agents that the Democrats hired, increase domestic energy production, get to the bottom of Hunter Biden's corruption, and of course the big guy who's at least compromised by 10%. Reinstate the servicemen and women who were shamefully discharged because they refused to take the COVID vaccine. Reduce government spending and curb inflation. Secure the southern border, at which there is a complete invasion, and reduce the flow of China's fentanyl into our communities. Republicans across America ran on these policies. God help us if we fail to deliver on them. And with that, I yield.
Members are reminded to address their remarks to the chair and not to a perceived viewing audience.